All right, welcome to 120 Northfield The Podcast, presented by SHPN. I am your host, Brian Muller, alongside my co-hosts, Derek Motley and Anthony Chulo. What's going on, guys?
How's it going, Brian?
What's up?
All right, so the first topic of today will be the football midseason review. Right now, the Pirates are sitting at 4-3, winning 4 of their last 5, and they were on a 4-game winning streak within that time. But most recently, the Pirates fell to Del Barton last Saturday, so we'll talk about that game first. My thoughts on it, we just played sloppy. That's what it came down to. It was just a sloppy game, too many turnovers. Team wasn't clicking like they had been. But they caught us on a bad game. That's inevitable. That's just going to happen. I don't think this is indicative of how we've been playing or how we can play. I just think it was an off week for us. I think we can and we will bounce back in the coming weeks.
I think our first half performance was a lot more representative of how our season's been going than our second half performance, in my opinion. Second half we kind of came out a little flat. We had a lead going, and I think maybe it wasn't our defense, but I feel like our defense didn't show up really second half.
Every so often I talk to Vin Henrich, the captain of the team, and he's always like, yeah, we got this one in the bag, we're going to win. And it's just, all the guys are just putting in the mindset that they're going to win. And I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, no, when you look at the teams that we play, they'll always have like the D1 commit. Like they'll have the Ohio State guy, they'll have the Michigan guy. And we really don't have that on both sides of the ball. We have Zach Hogan going to Rice, we have Aidan Gilman going to Brown. But we don't really have that star player that everyone has. But I think that the team kind of rallies around each other, and it's a gritty team that kind of puts plays together. Gets the ball down the field, makes big stops, and it's a good football team. We don't have the D1 Power 5 player that the other teams have, but everyone kind of comes together and plays as one.
Yeah. Also, we have a bunch of young guys. Having these guys been playing together for a while, we have a couple juniors now that were on varsity last year, and they were a big part of the team, like Dom Busby, who's not hurt. We'll get to that though. But yeah, we have these young guys, so even for future years, so next year, they're still going to be playing together. They have the chemistry, and it's just going to be.
Yeah, you just see there's a bunch of first-time starters on this team. There's a bunch of young guys. There's sophomores and juniors that are all playing. But, even when you think about senior quarterback Aidan Gilman, this is his first year starting. So even he's a young player, and I think he's really stepped up and done more than what we expected of him as a quarterback. I think that he's been a leader, and I'm just impressed with how he's been playing so far. He can throw the ball really well, and he's shown that mobile ability that I don't think many people expected him.
Yeah.
He's running all over the field. You see, I'm not sure how many rushing touchdowns he has this year, but it seems like he's always carrying the ball towards the goal line.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's just something that really speaks to him as a person and how he stepped up and embraced this leadership role.
Yeah, I think he had one against the Montclair. He had one in the Montclair game, and then he had the 2-point conversion in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and then sticking to the running game, sophomore transfer Nazir Elias, running back, he had to sit out the first 4 games. And conveniently, I guess I'll say, it came right at the time with the injury of senior running back Luca D'Amelio. And I think Nazir, as a sophomore, has stepped up and played really well with what no one really knew who he was or anything. And then he comes out against Montclair, 2 rushing touchdowns, just has a big game, and he's really a good catalyst to this offense.
Another big part of our team, junior tight end Dom Busby, he's been playing both sides of the ball, and he's been proven to be one of Gilman's favorite targets. Unfortunately, he left East Orange a couple weeks ago with an injury, and he hasn't played since, and I don't know where he really stands on when he's coming back or not.
Yeah, so that should just about wrap it up for football. All in all, my final thoughts, I'm very impressed with how the team's been doing. No one really knew what to expect this year, and I think that they've surpassed all expectations. They've proven all the critics wrong, and they've said that we're here to play and we're here to stay, basically.
Listen, we have a couple big games coming up next couple of weeks. If we get 2 W's, I think we should be good.
Riding good momentum into the playoffs. So now talking about football, we're going to kick it to our interview with senior quarterback Aidan Gilman. All right, so we're here with senior quarterback Aidan Gilman. Thank you, Aidan, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's just get right into the questions. So first question, after the departure of your head coach last year, it was kind of abrupt, kind of came out of nowhere. How did the team respond to that? And how did that kind of fuel your motivation going into the season?
Yeah, right away when he left, the morale was pretty low because we got close with him. Obviously, he was our coach for 3 years since we were freshmen here, and I think we stayed together and had meetings and talked as a team. And once Coach Fitz got here, he kind of told us that he was here for us, and it's about us, and it wasn't about him. And I think it fueled our motivation to work in the off season really hard, starting in January in lifts. And we had support like Coach Merck and Coach Ruiz and Coach Sams, who pushed us in the weight room and kept us together as a team.
So the offense has just been playing out of its mind. You guys have been firing in all cylinders lately. You guys are averaging around 30 points per game in the last 5. Why do you guys think you guys have been so successful on the offensive end lately?
I think we just focus on every single day in practice on winning every single period, especially on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, winning every single period that we play in. I think if we have a week of practice, that shows up in the game. I mean, we've started most of the games offensively. We started pretty slow, but I think once we pick it up, we've given ourselves the opportunity to score on every single drive. Our defense has also given us a chance with good field position to put us in a position to be successful and score. So I think it all starts in practice and every single day focusing on getting a little bit better and staying sharp.
As a senior quarterback surrounded by all young talent, basically, how do you and the other seniors on offense use your experience to mentor and lead these guys?
Yeah, I think it's just staying calm in pressure situations. I played 5 games my sophomore year, which really accelerated my growth as a player, as a leader on the team. And then this year, I feel like I have a lot of experience along like Tom Callahan, who played all junior year. So we've been in the fire, and I think just staying calm and reassuring the guys, the young guys, that if we just stay together, we'll be able to accomplish anything.
Yeah. So last year, obviously 2-8 season. You come into this year, you lost your coach, lost some key players. So no one really knew what to expect out of this year. So winning the 4 of our last 5 games kind of has turned some heads throughout everywhere. So is this something that you guys expected coming to this year, that you would have this kind of success?
Yeah, I mean, it started back in January. We've been working, I feel like, harder than any team in the state. Every single day, runs, lifts, and we just focus on getting better every single day over the summer, starting in June. And the success, I feel like everything we worked for, we deserved the success. And I mean, we still got a long way to go. We got a tough opponent this week, and then we got playoffs coming up, so we still got a lot of work to do. But yeah, no one was surprised by the success because we put in the work for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you recently committed to Brown to play football, obviously. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
What stood out to you at Brown that made it your final decision?
I think I felt the most at home there, and the coaches really showed that they didn't care that I didn't have much film from junior year. They didn't care that no other schools wanted to give me opportunity right away. They said they believed in me, and they explained to me how the Brown community is there for you, and teachers and professors are there to help you, and there's a ton of support there to be successful. So I just felt most at home there.
That's great. A great school.
Yeah, I think by now everyone's heard about the gutsy play call to go for 2, down 1 in the final minute against Montclair. So can you kind of take me through, like, that last drive? You're down by a score, you're starting at your own 20, and you have to drive all the way down the field, and then eventually convince Coach Fitz that going for 2 is the right call. So just take me through what was going through your head throughout that whole drive.
Yeah, so starting the drive, we knew we had to obviously go down the field and score, so we just wanted to move the ball, get out of bounds, and get as much yards as we can with saving the clock. So first play, we started, and PJ made a good play, got by the guy and got out of bounds, and then Timmy Macco had a great play, got yards, and then that next play, me and Nikki wanted to take a shot because we knew they were biting on the hitches all game, and we were just waiting for that call. So I told Coach Fitz that I wanted that call, and he said it was up to me to make the call. So I made the call, and we ended up scoring a touchdown there. And then the whole offense wanted to go for 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Fitz then said we're going for 1, so we went out on the field. And we weren't really sure. Personnel was a little messed up, so I called a timeout, and we came back to the huddle. And the coaches and players, we all discussed on if we should go for 2, and everyone wanted to go for 2, so Coach Fisk basically left it up for us to win the game, and we did.
And who called that play for you to keep it on 2?
We've been that was the whole offense.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all of us.
Great play by Nikki, though.
Yeah.
Great spin move. Never really see that a lot.
I mean, Jersey Sports Zone loved it.
Yeah.
They just talked about it the whole time.
That's
yeah, but
for sure.
Catch of the year.
it definitely worked very well.
Mm-hmm.
The way that everything, I mean, the cornerback bit crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was wide open going down.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm sure you saw Pirate Nation went wild after
Yeah.
after that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just a perfect way to kind of capture the 4-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
It was just us playing hot, us playing clutch in clutch moments. I mean, like the block kick against Paramus.
Yep.
I mean, it just seems like those things sort of happen throughout there.
Yep.
But that was perfect, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thank you to Aidan Gilman for coming on and interviewing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to Aidan for coming on the podcast for an interview. Now we will head into our soccer mid-season review. So for the soccer team, right now we are sitting at 13-2-2 and number 7 in the state according to NJ.com. This is kind of unfamiliar territory for us. Usually at Seton Hall we're 1 or 2, we're top 5.
Yeah.
So number 7 isn't really where we want to be. Our 2 losses came to Milburn, which was last Monday, and Montclair earlier in the year. And then we had a tie to West Essex and then South Kent from Connecticut.
I think tying South Kent was great. I mean, they're top in the country. They're amazing. I was watching the live feed of that game, and I just saw like excellent ball movement. It was like, and it was really just like honestly like a fair game. Like we played great against them, honestly. But to West Essex, we shouldn't have tied to them. I don't know. I guess we played a little sloppy against that game, and lost to Milburn and Montclair. We're both respectable teams, but again.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's those losses that Seton Hall has playing in Essex County, playing these public schools, where you play 3 games a week and you don't always get up for every game. You don't get up for Bloomfield every time, Nutley every time, Milburn, Montclair, like all these teams. It's like they all kind of blend together, and you don't get excited, and you'll catch them on a good day when you're having a bad day. And I don't think the losses to Milburn and Montclair, they're both very good teams, both ahead of us in the counties right now, but I don't think that that's indicative of who we are. I think we're a much better team than that. Same with the tie to West Essex. I mean, we can see all 3 of those teams in counties, and I think if and when we see them,
3-0.
we'll get up for those games and we'll win those games.
Yeah, 3-0 easy.
Yeah, and I think that if everyone plays their potential, I mean, right now the team lost 2 starters early, John Ned and Chris Angerman.
Chris Angerman, he's a junior, right?
Yeah,
junior.
defender.
Gotcha.
And we lost 2 of those guys early. And, I mean, we even had good play. You know, the junior in Aidan Dunphy, sophomore Lucas Ross, 15 goals, 11 assists currently on the year. He was awarded mid-season Rookie of the Year by NJ.com. But I think really the consensus in talking to everyone that's been at these games, that's been around the team, is that we're winning these games, but we're not playing to our full potential. Where we have all this talent, but we're just not putting it all to use. And I think that's a bad thing to some extent, but I also think it's a good thing, where we haven't even begun to peak yet. And we've won 13 of our 17 games without having our best team out there, basically.
Yeah. So the subs for John Ned and Chris Angerman, they've been playing real well. We have senior Brandon Real for subbing for Chris Angerman, and then you have junior Jason Pereira for covering for John Ned. So they've been playing great. The moral of the story is that they have 3 games a week, whatever. Soccer has a lot of games a week, and you just got to play 100% every single time, and you got to practice 100% of the time. It's a lot of work, but I honestly think we can get it done. We've gotten it done in the past years, and I think in playoffs we should be set.
Yeah, I think that we're easily the best team in Essex County. I mean, talent-wise, the way that we play, if we all play to our potential, then we could easily win counties. And that kind of goes the same for states, where I think that we're the best team in the state if we all play well. I mean, you have the powerhouses, you have the Del Bartons, the CBAs, all those kind of teams around the state that are your big dogs in the state, and we're definitely one of them. We belong with that because we can be the best team in the state if we all play together. And I think that will happen. I think the team will get up for the playoffs, and I think they'll get up for counties. I think they'll get up for states. And I think that we'll see Milburn and Montclair, and I guarantee we beat them if we play how we should. Yeah, and I definitely think that it's been a slow start to the year. I mean, we have 3 new defenders that are all coming in. They weren't playing last year in the same position they are this year. First 3 games, we give up 8 goals, and then since then, we've only given up 6. So it just goes to show that once we hit our stride, we can be a very good team. And I think our tie against South Kent, South Kent, they have kids playing on national teams around the world. They're All-Americans on their team. They're a boarding school top 5 team. So that just shows that if we can hang with them, we can hang with anybody in the state of New Jersey. And I think that that's true. And I just think that as long as we play as a team and we play to our potential, we can win a lot of games.
Yeah, now, for example, if South Kent were to play, Millburn, Montclair, I feel like it would just be like a blowout, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, South Kent, I think we played one of our best games. It was just, a lot of communication, a lot of ball movement, which is what you really need. And it wasn't even that they were controlling most of the time. It was just more of like midfield going back and forth. It was a great game, honestly.
Yep.
So.
And that'll do it for our soccer mid-season review. Thank you for tuning in to the first ever episode of 120 Northfield The Podcast. We'll catch you sometime later.